Today is Wednesday the 17th, we're going to see 24 with a forum, Senate Research Energy. We are meeting to review draft 4.1 of 8687. So anyway,
I apologize, I did not realize you were going live, it's my fault. Neither Senator McDonald nor McCormick are able to leave at this point.
oh, really?
So I personally, because I know we're moving to the vote.
Yeah.
Would prefer to have them in attendance for the discussion, but.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they're going to go, so.
Yeah, I thought we were all set on,
I'm gonna shut
having
it
a
down.
comment.
Scheduled Kennedy and the chair explicitly
We're live,
told us.
Senator live.
Yes, it was none of those.
Yeah, we actually heard that.
I
Okay, sorry.
That's why I entered the pro tem to get permission to come up and vote. Leave their schedule.
No, the entire committee on committees and all that.
Not that it's gonna go running, plus how much is the picture. Hey,
Yeah.
now that everyone are in mind, it's pretty freaking there.
Hey, baby, hello.
Blake,
No, I know, but it's not that up.
so we are here to review the changes made from draft 3.1 into draft 4.1. And I have two things, one to go through let's focus on that first. I also kept a list of kind of items for further consideration. For instance, accessory on-farm businesses. And we'll review that first, edit the bill, second the list. Okay, so Madam Counselor, if you can walk us through, let's review and we can get to something up.
I have a hypothesis.
Is this a good idea? Go ahead.
This is a clean copy, and if you have the highlighted version, maybe we can look at it on our computers.
I don't have to highlight it.
We have a highlighted version, okay.
I can forward it.
To me, and I can put it on the
Yeah.
website. And that's okay, and that's what we will do.
Is it? The highlighted version, or one highlighted for change, which is big one.
What? I wasn't listening. What?
That's good, so I didn't know there was a highlighted version.
You said it's a clean copy because we were gonna vote it out. That's not my intention, but here we are.
So, I'm trying to think, is there a version
I
of
just
one?
LJ has to be honest, legislative council. I just sent you the highlighted copy. For 4.1.
Okay,
You know, I'll put it on the site, but it isn't here yet. And I can start by bringing the highlighted pieces to your attention.
great, let's do that.
Because most of what is in here is not new language,
Right,
it is copy and paste language. So another, public service announcement, this draft 4.1 is currently being edited by the editors. So. When you find typos, I'm sure you will point them out, but the editors are currently working on it.
okay,
And they're supposed to have it done in the next half hour or so.
well, so one, thank yous for turning around in short order. Another. A bill that went from 171 pages to award-winning 183 pages, and. So I don't think anyone's gonna be fiddly about typos. All right,
Tell me where the first highlighter will be. Sure, it's page 13.
so I was gonna say, the first thing I see is 13, line 13.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't 4, and it's gone.
You can let us know when it's on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first change is on page 13, and that was straightening the reference to the executive director. Doing the budget, and so that has just been removed.
Right.
On the next page, page 14. Page 14 has new language from S311, it starts in subsection F. So this language is the same language from S313. This is the stuff about the sign posted on property.
Oh, yes.
On page 15. Section 9 is new. Section 9 is the self-certification language that's from S313, S311 as well.
Yes, I am wondering about. At this point, if. We should be maybe not making suggestions for edits, because anything that we want to do further would be perhaps in a later. Like a amendment,
Right,
okay,
so I didn't pass it out because it would be a distraction.
Okay.
But this is the list I made while on the fly, while we were talking.
okay,
And we're saying that when we finish this process, then we go through this and see, make sure that everyone feels like, oh, that item I wondered about, it's on the list.
and by that list, those are, we are probably not gonna be taking those out. Right now,
Right, so the idea
Okay.
is vote this, in the next week, work on an amendment that sweeps up as many of these as we decide to work on, like resolve if we can.
Yep.
For instance, McCormick has an amicus brief provision, or there was a tandem parking piece, there's conservation districts, there's accessory on farm business.
okay, that is all, thank you.
The highlight is on the website.
Oh, great.
Switcheroo.
The next change is on page 47. So on page 47, first, section 28. You're getting rid of all of section 28. This is the sunset language from Act 47. It's being subsumed by the later provision on housing. In section 29, you're pushing back the sunset on the priority housing project. So now that sunset goes until July 1, 2027.
Thank you.
Additionally, you're adding language in this section so that it's the construction of a priority housing project located entirely within a designated downtown neighborhood development area or a growth center, or within 1/2 mile around such designated area, provided it is within the same municipality's designated area.
Okay.
On page 48,
So we didn't fix the issue, we just clarified that it's an issue, it's kind of what. Like the. Right,
If you in that town,
yeah,
we need to go further to say you're an adjoining town, want to participate in district overlaps into your town, since you have a process to get in. We could think about that, but it was. Too many complexities that were unresolvable in the time available.
on section, page 48, section 30. This is the JO requirement. It's being extended to match the extension for the priority housing project. The next change is on page 51. This is in the tier 1A area requirements. So this requirement subsection F at the bottom of page 51. Line 19 is, I rewrote it slightly. So to the extent that they are not covered under state permits, the municipality has identified and planned for the maintenance of significant natural communities, rare, threatened, and endangered species located in the tier 1A area, or excluded those areas from the tier 1A area.
Thank you. Option. Right?
On page 58. This is the exemptions. So at the bottom of page 58, subsection BB. Until July 1, 2027, no permit or permit amendment is required for the construction of improvements for an accessory dwelling unit as defined in 24 VSA 4303 and 4412. At the top of page 59. Same language is added, so until July 1, 2027, no permit amendment is required for construction of improvements for converting a structure used for commercial purpose to 29 or fewer units of housing. And then also on page 59 in the interim housing exemptions. So no permit or permit amendment is required for the construction of housing projects with 75 units or fewer, constructed or maintained on a tract or tract of land located entirely within a designated downtown development district or within 1/2 mile of its boundaries, provided it is located within the same municipality. New town center, growth center, neighborhood development area. Housing units constructed pursuant to the subdivision shall not count towards the total units constructed in other areas. This exemption shall not apply to areas within mapped river corridors and floodplains.
Thank you. The thing for the next category.
So then, so there's additional language in the next paragraph. So again, until July 1, 2027, no permit or permit amendment is required for construction of housing projects with 50 or fewer units on a tract or tracts of land of 10 acres or less, located entirely within a designated village center with permanent zoning and subdivision bylaws, or within 1/4 mile of its boundary, provided it's located within the same municipality, or located entirely within areas of municipalities that are within a census designated urbanized area with over 50,000 residents and within 1/4 miles of an area of a transit route. And this shall not apply to areas mapped within. Three quarters.
Thank you.
Wait, did we,
The one,
sure, did we take out section 40 or? Or maybe there's, is it, I'm confusing the reports, but there was, because we had put in the provision about wood product manufacturers, did we take, we took out the report on it? Or am I confusing studies?
that was, yeah. Because we went ahead and did it as opposed to setting it out to them.
No,
So is that section 40? Oh, okay.
no, section 40 is still in the bill because you didn't take it out. You're talking about a different issue.
Oh, I'm right, okay, my apologies. It's just, it's not there, so I'm.
We have a list of things that. Cooperatives, condominiums, dwellings, all those homes. And there's housing projects such as, what is a cooperative? How is it different from the mobile?
A co-op, it's a type of ownership of housing.
It could be a mobile home park or not, and not all mobile home parks are co-ops.
We construct a cooperative.
What page are you on?
So this is the standard language that's used in all of the Act 250 housing provisions.
I'm changing, yeah, right.
Yes.
If you wanna flag it,
No, I'm just
come back, we can do that.
getting hung up on me with definitions, yeah.
So, starting on page 94 with section 50. These are the new sections that have been added from S311 on municipal zoning.
Okay,
So they're, the language in them has not changed.
it's just we ported them over.
Yes, and I did not strike any language about tandem parking.
Okay,
You did not strike it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay. Okay, I was with the record show, I did get 4 people.
it's still on the open items for further consideration.
It is still on for further, so
It is.
They're taking.
I hope so.
It ain't over yet. Yeah, so, just seeing new section headings, and that's because you're porting over, hearing all this stuff over, no changes to it, just moving it in, is that correct?
Yes.
Where do we start hitting? What is it?
Page 126. Small change at the bottom of page 126, so it's the boundaries of a neighborhood, center. And then on page 127, the department did say they were interested in a $10,000 limit, as you had mentioned, so that's added on page 127, that the department may accept funds, grants, gifts, or donations of up to $10,000 from individuals, corporations, foundations.
I also got to know, was it, Mr. Farrell, did you send an email over about there is a threshold at 10, goes to a JFO report, I think once you exceed 10, or is 10, there's always these boundary issues, is it 10 enough, or we need to be under 10?
Yeah, that's a good question. That That's speculation by Chris Cochran from my team, so I can't say definitively.
So I'm gonna make sure it's still on our list, so that if we need to make an adjustment, we can make an adjustment, won't lose track of it. Thank you very much.
Next on page 130. The municipal technical assistance report is given its own section. But the language in it has not changed, except for the couple of typos were fixed.
Okay,
And then I think the only other change is on page 135. So, and then on on 135, and so the department also did mention this, so. This language here is about tax credits and whether or not the neighbor development areas can accept them. This has a delayed effective date, but this begins on July 1, 2025. So I'm leaving it as NDA instead of neighborhood, so that it can just be part of the technical update at some point, because there's confusion, there would be confusion there about.
the,
I wanna make sure that existing NDA is. Yeah.
thank you.
And then the only other thing is on page 136, it is increasing the cap for the downtown Littleton tax credit program from 3 million to 5 million.
Which was in 300. Yep.
Yeah.
No further changes until effective dates.
Yes.
Right, so, thank you for cleanly clearing all those things over. There's the business at hand. Welcome, motion to amend page 687.
Pending edits.
Pending edits. Draft number 4.1. And stand for 17/20 to 20.
Move that we recommend favorably draft 4.1 of 687 pending edits. And for the whole line.
I'm not writing it down.
We'll have the two votes. First we'll amend the bill.
Oh, amen, okay.
Oh,
And then
okay,
we'll vote the bill itself. Yep,
okay. So this first vote is to amend,
yes, ma'am.
McDonald.
Here.
McCormick,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
White, yes. Chair Brett,
Yes.
Okay, and then
And so now I guess I've recommend draft 4.1 of 687 to the 7.
so 8687 is already
That's so many, thank
There we
you,
go.
sorry,
the little bit inside out and backwards sometimes.
get to
the way
learn
you do
the
it on here.
verbiage.
Yeah, okay, any further discussion?
No, that's.
So she called the roll. Sarah, no?
I mean, I'm looking at this and I can't tell you what I'm seeing. Of trusting what it says. When things are crossed out, that's what's crossed out in current statute or the original. It's proposed, so.
I don't know page you're on, but it would be
136.
statute.
Bill crosses out statute.
So for instance, what are you looking at, Senator Thomas?
So on page 687, the house crossed out 3 million and put in 5 million.
Correct. No.
No,
Senate
that-
We
economic-
crossed Senate.
Economic development,
Yes.
is that. And we brought that section of their bill into our report.
I expect finance will enjoy discussing that.
oh, you're looking at it.
Nice.
Then get ready for finance, so.
And if you find them, how are we gonna know if we don't? half the credits going in the 3 counties.
Well. I think finance will have an opportunity to inquire. GovOps is inquiring about the CSO money.
What have you found?
We haven't had an opportunity.
So,
No, we are. We just haven't had a day
to inquire.
to inquire. This came up,
It's been discussed in committee that you'll look into it.
yes,
Okay, so, and your schedule, the internal section for the day, so you know if you might even have that conversation this week. So still knows.
oh no,
All right.
this is, maybe the chair could inquire
Sure.
on this note.
Just, yeah, this one's, yeah, I know.
We have made a point to our chair about this. But perhaps
Yeah.
it is a conversation amongst chairs, so they could really move it forward.
Well, the other thing is,
Greater speed.
it's of interest to this committee as well, so we can ask Secretary more on that.
And.
How that works.
This.
Okay.
This is part of the mile.
Until that happens, we're gonna vote this out, so the inquiry is more located.
Or.
So,
Okay.
conversation, that's really much.
This bill will not pass before we have the cut.
Yeah.
I can promise that.
Probably both committees, yeah.
The chair of the president sanctions. Is that? Foreign amendments.
So I'm gonna, it's not part of the bill, but I'm gonna inquire CSO grant. I'm probably an issue. Question. Got it. Take it into account.
And now we have other credits that.
Well, so we didn't go through the credit stuff in here because finance is gonna be. Although finance already had to see
Some of them, we go over and change them.
then economic development,
I mean, you did this one.
yeah.
You have these in both.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about like the tax credit.
Yeah, I mean, I did walk through the section.
Sure, yeah. So are were you calling the roll?
I was starting to type out an email to Sandra Hardy related to CSOs, just to make sure we're on the same page, but I will call the roll if that
Well,
is where.
I said if there's any further discussion, then so. Let me know.
Right.
Had further discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the discussion.
It probably wasn't very satisfying, but I'm committing us having that testimony in here. Maybe GovOps will be interested in how grants in general are distributed, but CSO events are of regular interest to this committee.
Oh, well, then,
Will, and I will also talk to the chair,
okay,
who will be belt and suspenders.
that's good.
Any other discussion on the bill? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McDonald,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
White, yes, Chair Bray.
What's the question again? Yes.
Okay, 5-0-0 all around. And then I take this.
We voted for this and moving along the finance and. I still don't understand. How. This bill. Makes housing available for people that can't afford
I think it doesn't.
it. But
I think it does not.
I don't, I think it does not. And I'm waiting for some. The administration to, or someone to tell us how they think it's going to move stuff forward. And so I voted to move the bill to the next committee. I'm embarrassed because this far, it's the end of the bill. It doesn't seem to connect with the inability of. The unwillingness of builders to build for people. Who don't have that much money.
Well, so who knows how all these provisions will play out? Can people check the market? It will be responsive to regulatory change for that. But there's also some pretty straightforward things, like priority housing projects are in the bill. And we've seen priority housing projects start in the last, since we passed the bill in, like, when until like July 1st, this past. And priority housing projects have those income provisions, so that for that the minimum of 20% of the units have to be quote unquote legally affordable. So it's not the whole answer, it's a piece of an answer.
I probably put those in 3 pages instead of.
Mr. Chair, I would just say I'm really grateful that we were able to come to a unanimous vote, and I respect, I think, the positions of skepticism of both of the senior senators in the committee, because they got the institutional knowledge around it. But I would just caution that I'm concerned that this bill is already on a path to be vetoed by the governor. And I worry that a veto will ultimately lead to us getting even less close to having affordable housing for all Vermonters. And I think that if I were to speak directly to the governor, I think it is unlikely they will get further in this conversation than the bill that they've got in front of them.
Those don't be what they are. I don't see how this gets us closer.
Yeah, and I think that that's a concern many Vermonters have.
Thanks.
There is, there's also provisions, right, we've been talking about, right, the funds here over there. So here's the list as I collected it, and the last, I think we heard every single one of these as a group. I think some have already been taken care of. For instance, I think number 20, the urbanized area language, which was pending at the moment I made the list. It actually got carried over and moved in, so.
Number 20.
If you, this is like one of those good to-do lists that you can cross something off the minute you finish putting the list together.
Do your laundry, is it?
I did this.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is something.
On my copy, I have, did you get one?
I'm looking at Senator Brown's book. I don't think I need it.
Oh, yes, where's that? I got the first stop one.
I'm leaving, I'm going to other committees, and I'm not coming back. You're.
This
By the way, I'm warming up, I gotta keep working it.
Okay. So
We want you to be rewarded the most patient person.
Yeah, MVP.
Given the position we're
I
in.
think I was not patient with you today.
Well, let's give us the position you're in.
So that's the list, given that, I don't want to go back to the committees, I think that's Senator, probably just hoping we might go
Oh.
back. For now, but rather than start grinding away on the list.
Yeah.
I would just propose, when we come back, we pick up and edit the list, add to the list. But for anyone who's watching, so what's gonna happen to the list? So these are things that we didn't have the time to resolve. For this, to move this draft forward, and kind of the goal is there are two kinds of copies. Our committee is passing this bill, and economic development, so we have simple items, or other items for further discussion. Senate Economic Development may, on reviewing our handiwork, say there's something they want, who knows? The goal would be that when this comes to the floor, if there are any further adjustments, that the two committees will have merged a list of amendments and bring a single amendment to a single report on the floor. And that way we won't have people, yeah, I think that would be it'll be a friendly thing for all our colleagues, not have different pieces to try to assemble. And instead, the community jurisdiction and stick together and bring one thing together. My sense of timing is this is off to finance and it's off to approach, so we probably have something in the neighborhood for the week. Still on floor. We're gonna be doing 289 full court press from here to Friday. Then although we've so knocked it out of the park on this that, I asked you to change the schedule. Fridays we start at 9, tomorrow I'll start at 9. I should double check that before I say that.
Yeah.
Those days at 9.
I have an 8
Yeah,
a.m.
well,
meeting both days,
also,
so
I
it's,
like- I don't wanna undo tomorrow.
Tomorrow's 9.
so you're saying 8:30, or are you saying 9 for tomorrow?
I wanna check because our default on Thursday is 9 because of Elkhart. Elkhart gets canceled sometimes. So sometimes we grab the half hour back. I don't think we did because Elkhart is not meeting, even though. So if it's 9. Friday was scheduled for 8:30. I asked you to move it to 9. You know, everyone can sleep in, nice for 3 or 4 hours. 9. And then, so. Before we. Then meanwhile. I think people who have an interest in any particular items can work on those items. But we didn't do a report, so for the time being, I'll report, we might do some sharing, because there are many words. Many words, yes.
No, you cannot, okay, okay, it is. As soon as I leave here. Okay.
It's
But-
not, I'm sorry,
I
it's
was pending
pending.
it, so.
Okay,
She did say pending.
I'll come up, I'll see you in 3 minutes.
That's wonderful,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
It's okay.
So that's-
fancy.
I don't want, while we're talking, I don't wanna lose the chance of, we just were talking about logistics, to say to everyone in the committee, I really appreciate the fact. People came in on Monday, people met into the evening on Tuesday, we had a second meeting on Wednesday. It's hiring time of year and everyone went an extra mile and then some, so I really appreciate your generosity and hanging in there. And it's frankly a long and complicated bill. So it's not that easy to hold that many things in mind at once. We'll see you very shortly.
Not yet.
Thanks, I'm not.
We told her not yet.
We'll be up in minutes.
Momentarily.
Gonna make this hand delivery.
We've jumped off the cliff.
I'll save you, Senator.
Oh.
I will get the results.
I will be back in 10 minutes if I haven't seen you.
The cliff has been jumped off.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
the bill that you just voted out as a committee, did you change the rebuttable presumption from which in the original law?
No.
Oh, we did not.
Okay, so the dispositive language was not added to this.
Yeah, so there,
Okay.
a question came up while I was getting soup, you know, that's the way it works around here. About rebuttable presumption versus dispositive versus actions consequent, whatever. I said, this is an item for further reconsideration list. So thank you for flagging it.
I didn't see it on this list.
No, thank you, Mr. Reagan,
Thank you.
because it's between getting my suit and here,
Oh, okay.
I didn't write it down, so I'm putting it down here.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's something.
It takes a village to do a village. Okay, so that's it. I just wanted to say thank you, sir. Thank you so much for all the steady work. Under pressure for weeks, and to our council. Thank you for your patience with us and doing all the extra hours. to Help us work on this abbreviated schedule. And with that, we are adjourned, so thank you all.
Jude is not
I
here.
can do it.
You can, okay, great, no, okay, great. I just wanna thank all the parties that.
Yeah.
that took up this week. So- A lot of people, I know they're not mostly here, but I'm very grateful for the
Yeah.
work that they've got.
Yeah.
No, back to work, Senator.
Okay, well, yeah, so there's a lot of
Go
people
outside.
missing from the room. I meant to say that, thank you for, we've had a lot of help from.
I
Exactly.
also.
And that